This is the Game of Life 2. That's right, your life just got a sequel. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a continuation and or next step for the Game of Life, which if you're not familiar with it, it is a board game. At least the original was. This sequel expands on the concepts and modernizes it in a number of interesting ways. So while it is optimized, it does sort of look like we're getting like 1080p on this one and like 60 FPS targeting. But I mean, it's a board game, so that really doesn't matter. What matters is the game itself and how it plays, really, in this particular situation. So this is cross-play enabled. Locally, you can play up to 4. Online, you can play up to 4 with, again, platform play, which you can turn off if you'd like to in the settings. I don't know why you would, but you can. So this takes the concept of the board game and slightly evolves it in some interesting ways. Matches take about less than half an hour, maybe between 20 and 30 minutes, depending on the players. Maybe longer if you've got more players in your particular match, since it does go up to 4. You're able to customize your particular players, and then you're out there in the world making choices that impact your character's life for that particular run. You get a few different maps to start on. There's the traditional regular world. There's a spooky, scary sort of Halloween one, which is what's being shown here because it's fun. And there's also a fantasy type world. You can buy additional worlds and areas if you'd like to. And that actually is like a microtransaction, so you actually have to buy that stuff. And there's some customization things, some peg options, stuff like that. So the Game of Life is basically a quick play of a life. You choose, you're gonna follow, your career. Are you going to maybe just jump into the world of work? You make these crossroad choices, and your peg continues along, and you hit these different spots on the board, and that board might give you a bit of a wheel spin, and that will further impact things. You'll have choices in regards to the type of work you want to do, the weird events that pop up, and again, this is modernized here with the, I guess you would say the Halloween type of effect. Obviously, you don't see those modern things because they go for more whimsical, trying to match the theme type things of the board. But, they definitely have all of the modern flares of life in this era. You continue along, there's certain points like, do you want to get married? And then you can possibly have literally a kid, or I guess a pet now, because pets are at the same level as kids when it comes to life and whatnot. So it's very much up to date with everything in society and whatnot. It's also vibrant and colorful, and very clean with its UI. It's very easy to play. I would have liked, though, that locally to have the option to literally have multiple controllers. You essentially have to do a pass and play if you're playing locally, and that was a little silly because it's literally just pass and play. So you can do single player, pass and play, online with friends in order to set up like a key code type thing. Or there's also just regular online multiplayer if you want to find others to play with and against, essentially. So yeah, it would have been good to have that option to basically just have separate controllers, because it really felt like one person was just playing, the other one was giving inputs, because we didn't want to pass the controller along since the changes and the turns are so quick. It really does at times almost feel like it plays itself with minimal inputs from the particular player, because it's just kind of all automated and going along. In the end game, you do have a choice between like doing a pension type thing or continuing to spin wheels for extra goals. All your points are tallied in regards to what you do, a combination of your cash, your house values, because you do buy houses if you so choose, and also the different things in life you experience. Did you get educational points? Did you get love points? Did you get investment points? And these all kind of wrap around in the end game in regards to your performance and how you ended up doing playing the game of life. Because again, it is literally about life and the different weird twists and turns that happen competing with someone else or other people, multiple other people, and seeing where money goes. Do you gain more? Do you lose some? There's bets that go on. It's an interesting thing that continues to roll and is, again, pretty easy to play. I've always thought the game of life was pretty cool, even from playing the board game back when I was young. So it was kind of interesting to take a look at, well, the sequel and whatnot, and seeing where things have been taken and what they've done with it, especially with it launching on the platform. So I would say it's vibrant and colorful, and it's got some charm to it. And as I said, it can be fun to play. It's going to be for a particular type of audience. I think it definitely is all ages, family friendly, and all that other great stuff. It's just how much you are going to find entertainment-wise out of this, and if you're going to find it repetitive or if you're going to find it fun to play. At its core, though, I think it's a pretty decent game. It's a pretty well put together thing. It goes by in a decent amount of time. You get to enjoy a selection of, not only just the vibrant visuals, but there's lots of little fun, quirky things going on within the maps. Like, they're actually pretty well detailed and well animated. They're quirky, they're weird, they fit the themes well, and again, you get a few different themes, which is kind of nice. So, I would say they did, pretty good job with this one. It's pretty good, it's pretty enjoyable. It's just not necessarily something that's like wild in depth, and there's not really any sort of big mix-ups, if that makes sense. Like, it very much is that classic style. You just get a few variations on it, and your mileage on this one is really going to vary based on your interest in the particular experience and, well, playing the game of life. If you're someone that likes this concept, you could sit there and you could play it over and over and over again, basically limitlessly, and even get extra, locations or maps if you want to. If you're someone that's a little less interested, I think the concept might wear thin a little bit for you pretty quickly. But it really comes down to your particular interest in, that concept from the board game being evolved slightly here. I always enjoyed it, like I said, the concept of the game, so it was fun for a bit, but I don't know, obviously, long term if I'm going to jump in all the time. Maybe once in a while I'll be like, the game of life, why not? And jump in and play, and I think that's good, because it's got, not only that combination of single-player local stuff, or multiplayer local stuff too, but it's also got online multiplayer if you, don't have people to play with, so that's kind of nice. So overall, decent package, clean presentation, runs well, plays well, looks good, neat aesthetics to it, and, that's the game of life too. Will you win, or will you do bad? All I know is I win a lot more in the virtual game of life than I do in the real game of life. Haha.
you